This is a warning. If I had known that day what was going to happen, I would have turned back. But I did not know, and for me, that day started off happy. It was the day my action replay had arrived. I had spent months soft resetting on my Pokemon White for a shiny Kyurem, and finally caved into the pressure and bought an action replay code from a seller on TradeMe. It arrived in a box with badly drawn and incorrectly colored Pokemon, and thankfully came with most of the major cheats already on it, so I didn't have to enter them by hand. After finally pinning down Kyurem, I found that the AR also came with codes to generate legendaries. I caught shiny Victini, Keldeo, Genesect, and Reshiram with no problem. But after catching a shiny Meloetta, the game glitched at the capture screen, so the top half of the sprite was in the shiny Aria form and the bottom half was in its normal pirouette form. Irritated at having to recatch all the shiny legendaries again since I kept forgetting to save, I had to restart the game. That's when things got really weird. When the game restarted, I was back on the same route I started on before the glitch. My party was the exact same prior to the glitch. Well, except for one small difference. The shiny Meloetta was now in the first in my party, and it appeared to have a nickname, Siren. I didn't think much of it. I spent a few minutes after the glitch furiously mashing buttons hoping for an outcome, so it was possible that I had entered something. But the real problem began when I first sent Siren out to battle. First of all, Meloetta's cry seemed to distort and stretch, running for longer until the sparkles that showed it was shiny made no sound. Then, before I even pressed an action, Siren used Sing. After the wild Woobat fell under its slumber, the dialogue box came up and said, "The wild Woobat has been snared. The wild Woobat has joined the party." After that, the game played the fainting animation. A bit disturbed, I quickly flew to a different city and went to the Pokemon Center to deposit Siren. Going to my box where I kept my legendaries, I deposited Siren and replaced it with the Pawniard I was gonna evolve into a Bisharp, only to find when I checked my party that Siren was still in the front of it. I checked the Pokemon data for the first time, only to see that instead of my trainer ID, in upside down letters it said Ulysses. I freaked out. This must have been some Pokesave cheat that messed up and broke the entire game. I reset, and when the game loaded, I was back in the giant chasm, but in battle with Kyurem. Confused, I watched as Siren went into battle. Her normal cry somehow merged with the tune of Sing. The message box came up again. The wild Kyurem has been snared. The wild Kyurem is following. Then the screen blacked out. After a pause of a few seconds, the screen reloaded to show that the giant chasm with a shiny Meloetta sprite following behind my trainer, just like in Soul Silver. I reset the game one last time. This time, it reloaded back in N's castle during the start of the battle. The N sprite appeared on screen and started to move back to send out Reshiram when the sprite suddenly froze. My trainer sprite appeared on the screen, sending out a Pokeball that I instantly knew contained Siren. This time her cry was longer and deeper and seemed painfully drawn out, ending with the first few notes of Sing. The message showed up. The wild N has been snared. The wild N will follow. Desperately, I restarted the game again and completely deleted the save file to start a new game. After lazily skipping through the tutorial, it loaded as the little black trainer sprite alone in his room. The box containing the three starter Pokemon was gone. A message came up on the bottom of the screen. "Why won't you love me?" I brought up the party screen to find it contained Woobat, shiny Kyurem, and a blurry overworld sprite of N. Another dialogue box came up. "See? All of your friends like me." I tried to turn the game off, but the screen flickered back on. "Why are you trying to run?" The box now said, "I love you." Suddenly the screen began to flash and the battle sequence started. The shiny Meloetta sprite appeared, but strangely twisted. The face was horribly blank. Smooth over skin with the merest dents for eyes, and red lipstick lined mouth and a wide grin. In place of the gemstone around the middle, there was a gaping hole straight through the other side. The bottom of the dress curled up inwards in pirouette form, past the teal of Aria form's hair. Siren's mouth open, wider than possible, and showing red-stained teeth, even as it bobbled and swayed with the motions of normal Meloetta sprite. The black trainer sprite appeared on screen, then froze. A message box appeared. Siren used Sing. The lullaby-like notes of Sing began to play from the speakers, a full tune, instead of the simple first bar it normally is. Despite myself, I began to feel sleepy. A last dialogue box showed up on screen, flickering on and off with letters blurring and unblurring. "Trainer has been snared." Will Trainer follow? I was scared and I wanted out, so I quickly hit no. The screen shook. Siren was angry. The trainer sprite fell away like it had fainted. Siren used hyper voice. Siren wants you to follow. Out of the blue, a violent sound burst from the speakers, a mixture of metal sound and screech. I dropped the DS and the sound continued. The screen zooming in on Siren's eyeless face until the skin split and Siren's eyes were glaring directly at me. One red, one green, with pupils like black holes, drawing me in. I think I must have blacked out, because the next thing I remember, I was asleep on my bed, with my DS on and running low on charge next to my face. Everything seemed like my old save file, all of my old Pokemon safe in their PC boxes, with a sprite of shiny Meloetta on screen, with a simple message, Siren has been released. Thank you, trainer. That should have been the end of it. There was no sign on my game that Siren had ever existed. Meloetta wasn't even registered in my Pokedex. But I still feel strange. In school, I found myself humming an unfamiliar tune. I don't remember sleeping, and when I turn my head, I can see a flash of black and green, like something reflecting out of the corner of my eyes. I'm scared. Siren was released, right?